Hello, I'm Carol. I'm an artist and I've been teaching watercolor classes at sea over the last 10 years, met with thousands of students. There is one exercise that consistently helps them to see color at a deeper level. I'm going to show it to you right now. It's super easy and it'll have you mixing your colors like a virtuoso in no time. It's called the color grid and it is the best exercise for understanding exactly what your palette can do. I am using a 12 color palette. In here I have lemon yellow, cad red, alizarin crimson, cobalt blue, cerulean blue, viridian, sap green, the three earth tones, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, and burnt umber, and this lonely little rarely used cube of white. Whether you've taken watercolor with me or anyone else, you'll know that white is rarely used in watercolor, but it's here in our palette. What we are going to do is make a grid 12 by 12. We're going to lay out all 12 of these colors and we're going to see what happens when they cross paths. Drawing the grid. This is when I can always spot the engineers in the room. You can pull out a ruler if you need to, but I'm going to tell you that this exercise is not about drawing straight lines. All we really need, 12 rows and 12 columns. And the way I like to do that is get myself a square like so. I cut it in half again, and then each of these quarters I cut into thirds. There, 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 more or less. And then I do the whole thing the other directions. Am I perfect? No. That will not affect how lovely this exercise is and how useful it is when you're painting. This diagonal is where every color meets itself. Let's get ourselves a brush. I am using a nice little 6 round. I'm going to wet my brush. I'm going to pick up a little of my color number 1. I'm going to lay that color in. This is my number 1 row and column. Both colors going in there are lemon yellow. And so my square is simply lemon yellow. I'm not going to paint my second square because with watercolor, when I put 2 wet bodies up against each other, the paint swims from one body of water to the other. So strategically, I'm going to paint all my even colors first. By the time I've done that, the hope is that my 1 and 3 are dry enough. I can slip my color number 2 in there. But one of the beauties of watercolor is there's all of this built-in drying time that just allows you to chill a little bit and not be in so much of a rush. Here is what this exercise is all about. There are 2 ways to mix a color in watercolor. The first is what we call active, where we put down some water and we put a little bit of 2 different colors in it and let them flow and mingle and create their own beautiful dynamic color. And the other is passive, where we take those 2 colors, mix them on the palette, apply them directly onto the paper as this new color. So let's take something that everybody knows. When we talk about color theory, usually the first thing I'll say is, what do you get when you mix blue and yellow? And of course, everyone says, yes, green. Okay, so let's take our color number 2 and our color number 5. I'm going to see where those 2 lines overlap here, and it's right there. So I am going to paint clear water into that square. Now, I'm going to take those 2 colors individually. I'm going to drop a few drops of that yellow paint into that square. Now I will take a little of my cobalt and I'm going to drop that in there, and I'm going to let those 2 colors kind of party and mingle in that water. What I'm doing here is getting something that's dynamic and moving, not just a flat green. Over here on the other side of this equation, I've got 2 and 5 crossing here. So this time I'll take a little of the 2 and a little of the 5, and I mix them on my palette. And on dry paper, I will paint those on in one homogeneous tone, and there is my mix. So we've got active and we have passive color mixing. Now, what I'm going to do is systematically work my way through my grid, trying all color combinations. The temptation here is to pick a color and paint sequentially across in a row. Don't do it, because you'll be painting wet color against wet color, and they're going to swim into each other. The other shortcut I see students sometimes wanting to take that kind of defeats the purpose is they'll paint a whole row one color, and then they'll paint the other one over top. Very valid way to mix, but not what we're doing here. So here I go. What you'll find as you go through this exercise is, yes, red and blue are going to make a version of purple, yellow and blue are going to make a version of green, but what you're going to discover are all of these soft, warm or cool grays and in-between tones, and these are the things that you're going to need when you're painting from life. This chart becomes your personalized roadmap to color. Hang on to it. You will reference it constantly. I keep mine in my sketchbook so I can use it, hold it up to real life, and figure out the best color combo for whatever it is I'm capturing. Next time, we'll move from hue to saturation and learn how to control a color's intensity. So if you want to follow along, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you in the next video.